Marie D, Boston Banner Bound, here to recap the 17-day franchise record homestead that had 7 games. And let me just tell you, it did not start off the way that we were all expecting it to go. So, or maybe we were. Trap games. We expected them. But we thought that they were past that and they weren't going to fall into these traps. But they got swept by the Magic. I already did a pissed off video of that. I don't really want to recap that again. Then they lost to the Pacers and then they woke up. They finally woke up. They had a warm-up game against the Timberwolves. No Karl Anthony Towns, okay? They beat them 121-109. Rob Will out with an illness. People are trying to say, oh, is it coincidence? Rob's out. He's not in the rotation. So now they get the win. No. Don't you dare speak ill of Robert Williams like this, okay? I don't want to hear it. Celtics were sick of losing, and that's why they won that game. JB came alive in the second half. Tatum and Brown had 30-plus points each. And with that win, they regained the 1 seed because they lost the 1 seed to the Bucks with the 3-game losing streak. Snapped the 3-game losing streak. And they looked like themselves again, finally. Then it was the most anticipated Christmas Day matchup against the Bucks. And it was the 1 seed versus the 2 seed. People are going to say, oh, well, they didn't have Chris Middleton. So wait. But listen, if you have someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo on your team who's supposedly making a run for the MVP case, you should be able to handle it and get it done. And guess what? They did not. Celtics won this game 139-118. Finally, the Celtics are looking like their old selves with this win over the Bucks. The Bucks stopped there, and my Christmas gift was signed, sealed, delivered at the TD Garden for me, wrapped up in a bow. Celtics win, Bucks lose. Merry Christmas, Marie D. Here you go. Thank God. Because it would have been a very, very angry elf Christmas, let me tell you, if the Celtics didn't get their shit together and beat Giannis on our home floor. For Christmas, God's sakes. However, it was a somewhat close game. It was, we got our money's worth. Maintained a lead the whole time. The Bucks never had a lead besides when they scored the first 2 points at the beginning of the game. This largest lead for the Celtics was 22. So, like I said, it stayed pretty neck and neck. And then all of a sudden, Celtics just put the foot on the gas and didn't look back. Only thing that I was upset about was Jalen got fouled at the buzzer going into half. And it was a 3-point shot attempt that he got fouled. And he missed all 3 free throws. That's my glaring issue is they can't make those easy buckets, free throws, wide open layups, wide open threes. I get it. People have off nights. No one shoots 100%. Totally get it. But we need to limit those mistakes. If you can get an easy bucket, get the easy bucket. Stop relying so heavily on the 3-point shot. They're living and dying by the 3. And that's what was killing them in those first 3 games against the Magic and the Pacers. They were just not on it, not hitting their shots, not playing. And then they stopped playing defense on the other side. So it's like, it was all a disaster for the first half of this homestead. And then shots started falling. The confidence was there again. They remembered how to play defense again. And they went from best to worst to best again. And it was just a whirlwind roller coaster of emotions. People were getting pissed off. People were like, can you just play like you know how to play basketball, please? And then they're like, oh, like this. And then they ended up playing basketball like they normally play basketball. Then they beat the Rockets 126-102 as they should. So they did not fall into the trap of this trap game because this was a serious trap game. I don't think I could have made it if I saw them fall into another trap game on this homestead. I really could not. Rockets were on a traveling back-to-back. They were on a 5-game losing streak up until the point that they won the last game that they faced on that traveling back-to-back. And this is where poor Joe Mazzulla was listed as out because his eye hurts. His poor eye. Thoughts and prayers to Joe Mazzulla's eye. Rob had a 11 point, 15 rebound double-double. Time Lord. Don't be talking ill about Time Lord, I'm telling you. And then they finished off the Homestead with the win, 116-110 over the Clippers. This was the revenge game because they lost to the Clippers in LA just a short week ago. Clippers came to town. Everyone was healthy. Their injury report was clean. This was like the first time in a very, very, very long time that I saw Kawhi Leonard play, that I saw John Wall play, Paul George. Those three, that's their big three. Yes, I understand they're not in their prime anymore, but they're still very good players. And it's a scary lineup to face. They had Marcus Morris Sr. Usually when a former Celtic comes to town, they tool on us and they embarrass us and they make us go, why did we trade him or why did we let him get away? But that didn't happen here. Tatum had 20 points at the half. He was just on fire. Close out the Homestead on a 4-game win streak. Now they're going on a 4-game road trip. They're taking on the Nuggets, Thunder, Mavs, and Spurs. And also a friendly reminder that the trade deadline is Thursday, February 9th. So that's coming up quick. It'll be here before we know it. It sounds as though we're probably getting rid of Peyton Pritchard, probably getting rid of Grant Williams. I don't see them dishing out the cash to pay them. I just don't. Not sure who we would get. I'm thinking we need another center. Because love Al, but he is not a young chicken. So we need some support for him because we want him ready to go and well-rested for the playoff run. And obviously we don't want to put too much pressure on Rob because he's just getting back. Rob, Time Lord, Lob God, Block Party Williams the Third. When healthy, unstoppable. Lobs to Rob, unstoppable. Like, chef's kiss. Could watch that on repeat. But anyways, I don't have too much stats talk to you about. Ended the Homestead 4-3, should have been 7-0. We'll forgive them. They, had 3 games where they just were like, whatever, it's the Magic and the Pacers, I don't care. But you can't take these teams lightly because I'm going to give it to the Magic. They showed up to play. They were energetic. They're a young team. They were ready to go. I think they rose to the occasion and Celtics were just like, meh, whatever. And you can't do that to a 9-20 Magic team. You just can't embarrass yourselves twice in a row on your home floor like that. Unexcusable, unacceptable. Will I give you a pass because it's in December? Sure. But when the race for the 1 seed and getting in the standings is like literally like a half a game or a game difference, these stupid trap games that you should have blown these teams out by 30 are going to bite you in the ass. So, I don't even want to say it. Brooklyn Nets on a 10-game win streak crawled their way out from the depths of the bottom of the seeding. And now they are, if I'm not mistaken, the 2 seed. They jumped over the Bucks. Because the Bucks are on a 4-game losing streak right now. They're playing right now against the Karl Anthony Towns-less Timberwolves. And I don't know. They're at home, so maybe that'll help them because they had a horrible road trip. But I don't know. They have a lot of people out listed with an illness, non-COVID. I hate that they keep having to specify, but they have no Middleton. I think they have no George Hill. I forget who else they're missing, but I don't know. Like I said, the East is tough this year. The competition is stiff. We can't afford dropping stupid games to stupid teams. Was it typical that they were going to lose to the Magic, the literal last seeded Magic, but then beat out the Bucks? Yeah, that was very I saw that coming from a mile away. Tell me that's the Celtics MO without telling me that's the Celtics MO. But if you want to be a championship team and you want to be a team that people are afraid of, do not keep making the same stupid mistakes. Stop taking these shitty teams lightly and put your foot on the gas and string more wins along. Keep win streaking and do not get on a losing streak. That's it. That's the simplest game plan. Oh, and Joe Mazzulla has been killing it. I don't know, I guess he hurt his cornea playing pickup basketball with all the other coaches, which I think is super cute. But obviously I'm upset that he got hurt in the process. I get that he's a super young coach. I think he's only 34, 35. So he's literally younger than Al. It's crazy. So we forget that these guys are young. But hopefully his eye heals up and he's able to go on the road trip. Damon Stoudemire did a really good job filling in. And honestly, there's respect across the board from the team to the coaches. So you love to see it. The team chemistry is on 1,000. Everyone looks amazing. I know this is going to look weird, but I completely forgot to also say, I know I said I didn't have a lot of stats to talk about, but I do need to just say this one thing. Nothing huge. Oh, other than the fact that with last night's game, Tatum moved to the 2 spot for all-time 3-point leaders in Celtics franchise history. And here's a little chart on the top 4 right here. So yeah, that needed to be just said. Give the man his flowers. Future MVP right there. Vote for him and Jalen and Marcus Smart for NBA All-Star as well. But it sucks because Tatum should be the front runner for MVP, but they want to make it a bad thing, because there's a dynamic duo for the Boston Celtics, that takes away from him being the most valuable player because it's a 1A, 1B thing that's happening. So you know what? Give Jaylen Brown the MVP as well. Have them be co-MVPs, the first of its kind, because both my boys are stars, are MVPs, and it should be known. Oh, you want to give it to somebody who won't go far in the playoffs? Come on now. Easily should be Tatum. He's putting up prolific numbers, and give the man the credit. Give the man his props. And just because he has a great teammate and duo in Jaylen Brown doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve the spotlight of MVP if he earns it and deserves it. Back to my regularly scheduled, better looking background, better lighting to close out this video. I really also enjoyed the comment that Tatum said, called these reporters out. He basically was like, funny how you said that me and Jalen can't play together and that we should split up the Jays and that it just was never going to work. And now you're basically comparing us to Scotty and Mike. But yet we're not as good as them, but yet we're being compared to them. So which one is it? Figure it out. Basically shut up and just let us play basketball, which I loved. I was never, ever, ever gonna say to split up the Jays, by the way. Never. I would never say that in a million years. Even if we were literally if we literally only had 9 wins, 10 wins, and the rest were losses and we didn't make the playoffs, I would still never say split them up because I love them. They are the best duo in the league. I have the utmost respect and I have the utmost confidence that they will get it done. Is there pressure on them getting it done sooner rather than later? Of course, but I'm patient. I believe in Green. I believe in this team. I believe that they will get it done. It's also interesting that I saw a report saying that they don't plan to get rid of the interim label on Joe. So that'll be something to look out for. because we're not sure why they wouldn't make him permanent head coach, but maybe it's too soon to tell. Like, we're not even halfway through the season yet. So let's see how he does for a full year and then readdress that going forward. That's not a major issue right now. The issue is obviously getting back to the NBA Finals. That's the goal. That's the number one concern. And the Celtics are number one in the NBA, number one in the East, and they need to just keep that as their focus in their sights and tunnel vision for that. Nothing should be a distraction. Nothing's going to get in their way. Everyone's pretty much fully healthy. Probably not going to see Danilo Gallinari at all this year. And that sucks, but he's such a good support on the bench and he loves his team. So that's the only issue. We're just not completely whole. But look at how good they're doing. Look how good they did without Rob. And now Rob's inserted in and they're trying to say, oh, the rotations are messed up because he's being inserted in. But I don't believe any of that bullshit. They need to just adjust and stop using him as a scapegoat as to why they literally played down to shitty teams that were sub 500 and just took a couple L's and embarrassed themselves. Don't blame that on Rob. Period. The end. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'll check back in with you guys after the 4-game road trip, and I will be in the Garden on Monday, the 9th, against the Bulls. And there's a couple of games that are at home that I will go to, and then I will recap in these short spurts, like homestead, road trip, homestead, road trip. I think that's the way to go. I'm not going to recap every single game. I've been doing Reels and Instagrams and Twitters posts during the game and everything else. I'll try to start making these videos a little bit shorter too, because I know everyone has short attention spans. And always tune in on Instagram and Twitter. I tweet a lot. I post a lot of stuff, whether it's my own personal stuff or if I'm just retweeting stuff or reposting stuff that I see and that I agree with, or that ESPN and SportsCenter and all them put out. I'll try and like get that news out to you as soon as I see it. I post so much Deuce content, it's ridiculous. But can you get enough of Deuce? Absolutely not. You cannot. Like, he is the most adorable 5-year-old there ever was, and future Celtic, by the way. So yeah, Brie Marie D, Boston Bannerbound, ended the road trip on top, thank God. Shitty start. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.